Hey guys, for our lesson today, we are going to be working on Everyday Math Lesson 4.9, number sentences for area of a rectangle. You will complete the EdPuzzle and then you will work on your home link. I want you to do some practice with finding area on IXL DD13 and then you will be working on finding the area in your zoo project. So our goal for today is I can find the area of rectangles and write matching number sentences. All right, so we're going to do some quick dots. I want you to get ready and you will be writing the number of dots that you see. Remember, these go quickly, and I want you to be thinking about how are these dots grouped. You should have said that there were 8 dots. There were 2 groups of 4 to make 8. You could have thought of it as 4 plus 4, or 2 times 4 equals 8. All right, the next one. You should have said that there were 15 dots. There were 3 groups of 5, so we could have counted by 5s, 5, 10, 15, or you could have done 3 times 5 equals 15. The next one, you should have said 16. There were 4 groups of 4. A little bit more difficult. You could have added 4 plus 4 is 8. Another 4 plus 4 is 8. And 8 plus 8 is 16. Or the number model 4 times 4 equals 16. All right, in your math journal, I want you to turn to page 124. And you are going to look at the top. It says, a cloud is partly covering this rectangle. Find the area of the whole rectangle. Remember, area is the space inside a shape. And so how many squares are on the inside of this shape that the cloud is covering? You should have said 45. The reason that I know this is 45 is because this has 5 rows and 9 rows with 5 in each row. So when I look at this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but then I have 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Even though I can't see the rest of this rectangle, I am going to be able to know that this has 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, and 5. So if I were to count by 5s, I would have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So the answer is 45. What we're going to be working on today is thinking about number models. So if I were to have drawn this as an array, I can see that I have 5 on this side and going now down 9. So my number model would be 5 times 9 equals 45. We're going to be using this to help us to find the area of other rectangles. All right, so this rectangle represents the front cover of a notebook, and you want to cover it with 1-inch square stickers. How many squares are in one row? Well, we would need to count them. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there are 10 squares in one row. How many equal rows of squares are there inside this rectangle? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 equal rows. So when I think about this, if again this is 10, all of these are going to be 10. So I'm going to be counting 8 tens. And 8 tens is 80. So my number model to solve this is going to be 8 times 10 equals 80. 8 times 10 equals 80. All right, we're going to be looking at Math Journal page 124. And number one, I'm going to give you an 8 by 8 rectangle. So on number one, I want you to write 8 by 8 rectangle. And we're going to need to draw this 8 by 8 rectangle. So when I say 8 by 8, it means one side is going to be 8, the other side is going to be 8 as well. So I'm going to draw 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to need to go down 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I would need to go over 8 and go up. Now remember, perimeter is the distance around a shape. We're not looking at finding the distance around. I'm looking at finding the inside. So how many squares are there? So when I look at this, the number of rows, well, I have 8 rows. So I'm going to put 8 here. And then the number of squares in each row, well, there's 8 in each row. So I can count this. And when I count all of it together, it's going to be 64. And my number sentence is going to be 8 times 8 equals 64. So the area of this shape, this 8 by 8 rectangle, is 64 square units. All right, you are going to do number 2. So I want you to draw a 6 by 7 rectangle.
Good morning, everybody. A couple of things. One, Miss Ash, Miss DeHart's up here for our Power 10 meeting. So if you want to mosey on this way, we can meet up here for a little bit. But staff, just want to let you know, so we are already working on orders. If you haven't got one in, it's...
All right, so you should have drawn a 6 by 7 rectangle. So going across is 6, going down is 7. When I go to fill this in, how many rows do I have? You should have said 7 because there are 7 rows. How many squares are in each row? You should have said 6 because there are 6 in each row. Now, find the area by counting the squares. You should have found that there were 42 squares. And what is the number model that represents this picture? You should have said 7 times 6 equals 42. All right, turning in your book to page 125, we have some more of the same ideas. This one, we have a rectangle, and we know the sides are 8 and 4. So this is a 8 by 4 rectangle. What is the area of this rectangle? So what is the space inside? You should have said 32 square units. What is the number sentence for this? 8 times 4 equals 32. Looking at number 2, we have 10 units across the top and 5 units on the side. So this is a 5 by 10 rectangle. So what is the area of this rectangle? You should have said 50. And what is the number sentence for this rectangle? You should have said 5 times 10 equals 50. All right, looking at number 3. This time we don't have the numbers given to us on the sides, but we can count them. So this is a 1, 2, 3 by 1, 2. This is a 3 by 2 rectangle. So what is the area of this rectangle? You should have said 6. What is the number model for this rectangle? You should have said 3 times 2 equals 6. Looking at number 4. This has, again, we don't have the sides given to us, but we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a 6 by 6 rectangle. So what is the area? You should have said that the area is 36 square units. What is the number sentence? You should have said 6 times 6 equals 36. All right, looking at number 5. Now, we don't have our squares in there. We don't have the squares on the inside. So we're going to be really using our number model to help us to solve this problem. So this one says that we have a side of 4 and a side of 5. So this is a 4 by 5 rectangle. And if it's a 4 by 5, my number model is going to be 4 times 5, and I can count by 5s 4 times, so 5, 10, 15, 20. So my answer is 20. If I were to divide this, I could make squares on the inside, and I would get 20 squares. I would go against trying to draw those squares in there, because your lines are going to get crossed. They're not going to be equal, so it's not going to be as precise as it should be. I would stick with using the number model. All right, looking at number 6, we have 6 units and 9 units. So this is a 6 by 9 rectangle. My number model is going to be 6 times 9. Now, I don't necessarily know what 6 times 9 is, but 6 is pretty close to 5. So I'm going to use my helper fact. 5 times 9, and I can count by 5s, and that's 45. And I don't have 5 9s, I have 6 9s. So I'm going to need to add another group of 9 to 6 to make 6 times 9, and that is 54. So 6 times 9 is 54, and my area is going to be 54 square units. All right, so remember, you're going to be practicing finding the area on IXL DD13. This is going to get you in the habit of using the multiplication number sentence to help you. And then here's what I want you guys to do. On your zoo page, you can click on the zoo down here and it'll take you to your assignment, or you can get to it from the math homepage. And first of all, you're going to need to make sure that you have all of your perimeters done. In our groups, we've been talking about this, and we should be pretty close to having all of these done. If your perimeter number model does not have 4 numbers in it, then you're going to need to rethink what you've done. The other piece is today you're going to be finding the area of your animals. So for my elephant, I have sides that are 10, 9, 10, and 9. If I think about drawing this out, I know that I'm going to have 10 kind of longer here and then 9 and 10. So if this is 10 and this side's 9, 10, and 9, I'm just going to be using these numbers right here to write my number model. 10 times 9 equals 90. The area of my elephant exhibit will be 90. I can do the same thing for my giraffe. I see 11 and 8. So if I were to draw this out, I can see that one side is 11, the other side is 8. So I'm going to multiply 11 times 8, and that equals 88. Okay. If I look at the tigers, I have a short side of 8 and another side, not really a short side because they're all the same. So one side is 8 and the other side is 8. I'm going to have a square. This is 8 and this is 8. My two numbers that I multiply are 8 times 8, and that equals 64. So today you're going to continue and you're going to find the areas of your shape. We will be talking about this in our math group as well, but please work on this and as soon as we get this done, we'll go into actually drawing our zoos and kind of getting it all set up.